Good evening. I'm Sandy Lyon. I'm the superintendent here in the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District, and it is my honor to welcome you tonight to our boardroom to host this event. And I thought I'd just introduce you with a little welcome, which pertains to one of our namesakes, Will Rogers. As you know, he held a fake campaign in 1928 for the presidency, and his only campaign promise was that if he was elected, he would resign. And he had two great campaign questions that he had funny answers for, and I thought it would be nice to start on a little levity. So he was asked what issues would motivate voters, and he said prohibition, because what's on your hip is bound to be on your mind. And he asked if there would be presidential debates, and he said yes, joint debate in any joint you name. So welcome to our joint, and we look forward to a wonderful debate tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Good evening and welcome. My name is Sandy Jacobson. It is my great pleasure to be your moderator this evening and to also welcome you to this Santa Monica College Board of Trustee Candidates Forum being held in the boardroom of the School District Administrative Offices. This forum is co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Santa Monica Education Fund and the Santa Monica Malibu PTA Council, working with City TV of Santa Monica. The League and the PTA are both nonpartisan, nonprofit organizations. We neither support nor oppose candidates for public office. During this forum, you will be hearing from the 6 candidates who are running for 4 open seats on the Santa Monica College Board of Trustees. The individuals you elect will serve 4-year terms of office beginning in December 2014. We'll now turn to opening statements. Each candidate will introduce him or herself, and we'll have 1 minute. And we'll start with Barry Snell.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Barry Snell, and I presently serve as a trustee for Santa Monica College. I believe I provide a balance and depth to the SMC trustee board. As a CPA and a small business owner, I understand the intrinsic financial and economic challenges the college faces today. And as a father of 3 Santa Monica College students, one that presently graduated and moved on to an accounting at Northridge College, I believe I understand and have a direct understanding of what it takes to complete your college career with my children. And then finally, as a community member, I've served on many boards, and I am the kind of community member that always is listening and looking for the answer. So please, when you consider the vote November 4th, vote for Barry Snell for trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Maria Loya, please.
Yes, hi, my name's Maria Loya, and as a product of the community college system, I understand the importance of expanding access and opportunity in higher education. I have a BA in economics and more than 20 years experience in public policy development. I want to make sure that SMC does a better job at serving local students and local residents. As a community leader that has been involved in Santa Monica on various issues, ranging from closing the achievement gap in our school district to ensuring that that Pico neighborhood has a library, I understand the importance of ensuring that Santa Monica College creates access and opportunity for students, in particular local students. So I hope that you vote for me, Maria Loya, on November the 4th.
Thank you, Maria. Louise Jaffe, please.
I'm Louise Jaffe. I'm president of the California Community College Trustees and a trustee at Santa Monica College. I'm passionate about access and excellence in public education. That's why I founded the Santa Monica Lifelong Learning Community Project. I served as PTA president for Rogers, Santa Monica High School, and PTA Council, and I'm a founding member and former co-chair of Community for Excellent Public Schools. My leadership on the SMC board has helped our exceptional community college become a model of student access and success, sustainability, and fiscal responsibility. My record includes keeping SMC #1 in transfers to UC, helping to create a strong partnership with Samo High, supporting the extraordinary Broad stage, and protecting Emeritus College so that everyone in our community can benefit from SMC. I'm proud that SMC provides all Santa Monicans unparalleled access to high-quality public education, higher education. and I look forward to the questions.
Thank you, Louise. Nancy Greenstein, please.
I believe in the community college system and its critical role in providing education and community service. I am Nancy Greenstein, and I am running for re-election. I joined the board as an experienced educator and a recognized community leader. My work as the Director of Police Community Services at UCLA has received national recognition. It is common knowledge that SMC has the highest transfer rate to UC, and as important, more than 70 career programs. We created pathways for local youth. Working with students and staff, I took leadership to save Emeritus College's state funding. As a Broad Stage board member, I am rewarded by the local enthusiasm for this world-class program in our backyards. Public policy impacts our daily lives. I believe that a public policy institute belongs at a community college, and a privilege that this personal vision is now reality with over 100 graduates from the only such program in the state. Dreams do come true at Santa Monica College.
Thank you, Nancy. Andrew Walzer, please.
Hello, I'm Andrew Walzer, and I'm running for re-election to the Santa Monica College Board of Trustees. As a trustee for the past 8 years and a community college professor for the past 24 years, I have the knowledge and experience necessary to guide Santa Monica College forward. I'm a former Student Success Coordinator and Associated Students Teacher of the Year. Under my leadership, Santa Monica College has flourished. We have maintained our standing as #1 in transfers to the University of California. We offer more than 70 degrees or certificates in career technical education, and we provide our local students special opportunities to bridge the gap between high school and college. By supporting my candidacy, you can ensure that Santa Monica College will have a stable and experienced leadership moving forward.
Thank you, Andrew. Dennis Frisch, please.
Thank you. I'm Dennis Frisch. I recently retired from Santa Monica College after 28 years teaching East Asian history. During those 28 years, I was very active in both the Academic Senate and in the Faculty Association, Santa Monica College Faculty Association. In addition to that, I became very active at the state level, both in the Community College Independence Organization and as ultimately president of FACCC, Faculty Association of California Community Colleges, 10,000 member faculty organization statewide. I'm running for election to the board because I think as good and as great as Santa Monica College is and has been, there are some recent trends which unfortunately point in a different direction. I'm particularly concerned about the corporatization that is occurring at the college, and also I think the college could be a much better neighbor and be more responsive to the community.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, now I'm going to explain our format. It's a little complicated, but it's a good format. Each candidate will be given the opportunity to answer a variety of questions with a maximum of 1 minute for each response. All questions during tonight's forum will be asked of the candidates in random order according to a blind matrix created by the League of Women Voters of Santa Monica Education Fund. We'll start with questions asked by representatives of the co-sponsoring organizations. Representing the League this evening is Ann Williams, President, and representing the PTA Council is their President, Rochelle Fanali. We will then have a question asked by a member of the press. These questions will be answered by all 7 candidates. The format for the remainder of the forum will include rounds during which all candidates answer the same question, rounds during which each candidate will answer a different question, and a round that asks each candidate to choose a question from prior rounds. I will give you a heads up on that one. To conclude the forum, each candidate will be given 60 seconds to comment, rebut, augment, or clarify any topic raised during the forum. For closing statements, candidates will speak in reverse order of opening statements. And for you, the audience, I request that you hold your applause until the end of the forum. This will keep the proceedings impartial and allow us to ask as many questions as possible. So, turning to our panel questions, our first question will be asked by Ann Williams, President of the League of Women Voters of Santa Monica.
Thank you. Driven by a potential shortage in the workforce, of 1 million bachelor's degrees by 2025, some of California's community colleges will now be allowed to institute 4-year bachelor's degrees in vocational subjects. Do you think this is the right way for Santa Monica College to develop? What do you see as the pros and cons of this development?
Thank you, Anne. Maria, will you field that question first?
Sure. Well, yesterday the governor signed a bill, SB 850, that basically gave community colleges the ability to implement 4-year degrees with the stipulation that these degrees feed into the fastest growing industries in the region. And with that said, I do believe that there is opportunities for Santa Monica College to engage in such an effort, especially when we have here in Santa Monica the two big industries, which is the healthcare industry as well as the high-tech industry through Silicon Beach. And I believe that by engaging in these 4-year degree programs, we can create a path to employment for local residents in the area. So that's one of the things that I think that we can do, and there's an opportunity in there to ensure that we create a partnership with the school district, SMC, and the city of Santa Monica to create career paths.
Thank you very much, Maria. Nancy Greenstein, please.
Maria explained a little bit about SB 850, and I too agree that it's an excellent bill and will provide opportunities that might not be at Cal State's and UC's. Right now, UC costs $52,000 for 4 years, Cal State $22,000, and going to a community college for a 4-year degree is $10,000. This will allow people to get into the job market, maybe without debt or minimal debt, and compete for the better jobs receiving better compensation. And Rand Corporation did a study on this, and they said that community colleges have the most success when they supplement efforts, not compete against the 4-year. And I feel strongly that the community colleges should offer the degrees, but definitely not compete with Cal State or UC.
Thank you, Nancy. Barry Snell, please.
Well, I also agree that I believe that Bill 850 is an incredibly good bill, and I think that community colleges should enter into 4-year degrees in certain disciplines. This particular bill is a pilot project, and only certain colleges will be allowed to be part of the pilot project, and then based on the results in school year 2016 will be implemented. So I do believe that we're going in the right directions because there are many fields that need to have the extra expertise in their fields, and they're not being able to find the workforce to be able to do it. The community college, as Nancy has said, is the most economical way for those particular fields to be filled by our community college students. So I definitely support the direction that the state is going.
Thank you, Barry. Louise, please.
The state developed a master plan of higher education in 1960. That's 55 years ago. Most of you in the audience, not all, but most of you were not born then, and some of your parents weren't born then. And that plan, which has the wonderful goal and premise of offering access to educational opportunity for everyone in the state, is a great goal. And I totally support that. And if I felt that offering bachelor's degrees would hurt that goal of being able to maintain open access for 2-year degrees, that would be a problem. The bill that was signed is very narrowly tailored. I'm not sure we will qualify. It's going to be extremely competitive because all up and down the state colleges are very eager to be able to expand access, not just to 2-year degrees, but to 4-year degrees. And that's incredibly important. Only about 60% of students who are able to transfer do. Every single loop is harder, and these are mostly Latino, low-income students that we serve.
Thank you, Louise. Dennis Frisch, please.
Louise mentioned the master plan for higher education. Community colleges were established to offer academic and vocational instruction for older and younger students through the first 2 years of undergraduate education, to provide that education in career technical education, lifelong learning, and transfer. and they are doing an excellent job in all three areas. There's always concerns when community colleges veer away from the basic mission as enumerated in the master plan, not the least of which is that offering four-year programs would potentially compromise opportunities for students in each of the three enumerated areas by siphoning resources from two-year programs to support the four-year programs. That said, however, I do recognize that there is a need for added baccalaureate programs, and I think it is a program worth watching as the pilot program works itself out.
Thank you, Dennis. Andrew Walzer, please.
The higher education system in California is not generating enough credentialed students to meet the needs of the future workforce. And that is why this broad consensus was built around the idea of community colleges offering four-year degrees. It was built among the higher education community, went through the legislature, and the governor signed it. So there's broad-based agreement that this is a good thing, and I support it.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, Rochelle Finale, President of the Santa Monica Malibu PTA Council, will ask the next question.
Thank you. Good evening. With state funding so unpredictable, as I know you all are aware, and being the key source of revenue for operations, how would you design your budget to protect the key programs for students, and in particular, those programs that help us bridge our high school students with Santa Monica College?
Thank you, Rochelle. Louise, will you lead us off, please?
To think about that one a little bit. State funding has been unpredictable, and we have been one of the main ways to protect against that is to build a reserve when you can. And we did that, which thank goodness we did that, because then during this last terrible recession, we were able to spend down that reserve and not lay people off or cut programs. So that's good. This is where our international students and out-of-state students are a huge, huge, huge advantage to this college and this community that other schools have not yet used, because that is not funding dependent on the state. So we have been able to use our attractiveness to non-resident students to supplement and sustain and fund much higher quality programs and access, including special programs, even during this terrible recession. So that other colleges, this is unknown how to do this, and this is a big problem going forward, and it's part of why the Rainy Day Fund has been
Thank you.
passed. Otherwise,
you,
you just
Louise.
have to hoard.
All right, Dennis, please.
The core function at the community college is teaching, and that's what the budget should have as its first and foremost priority. I think that if the budget reflects other priorities, that has to be corrected. And I think that over the last few years, we have seen where the budget has, in fact, reflected a kind of corporatizing mentality where faculty numbers have remained stagnant, and we've relied increasingly on part-time faculty, which means cheaper labor for the college, but it affects the students, and it affects student learning. They do not have access to their professors the way they would have if they were full-time professors. So our budget needs to be focused clearly on the student.
Thank you, Dennis. Nancy Greenstein, please.
Louise spoke a little bit about the budget and the importance of reserves, and that those critical reserves did help us through this most recent recession. That being said, we still need to continue and offer the students the best programs and also consider the community and continuing programs for them. And this past year, we thought that emeritus might not be refunded. And that's a program that is very important to our community. So we fought for it, we won, and if it's challenged again, then we're going to have to look at other models. I think you asked also about high schools. And so as part of it, we really are creating pathways to high schools, particularly from our high schools, and also want to work with the school district to ensure that the students are prepared.
Thank you, Nancy. Barry Snell, please.
As my colleagues have said, we were successful because Santa Monica College had a decent reserve over the period of time when it was difficult during 2008. But to answer your question, I believe that the resources should be directed towards the classroom as much as possible. Since I've been on the trustee board, we settled our labor contract, giving our teachers a 7.2% raise over the next 3 years, which was an amazing accomplishment based on what has transpired over the last number of years. I also believe that it's very important for us to continue to build a relationship with our K through 12 schools, one which I'm very passionate about, and that's one of the ways that we can ensure that our kids and our students are getting access and they're getting the proper education to be successful citizens.
Thank you, Barry. Maria, please.
Yes. I do believe in terms of the budget that it does go back to the values and priorities that are set forth, and that always has to be placed in the classroom, supporting students' success. I do think that, you know, during the recession, it was a difficult time, and as we move forward, if it were to come again, we need to be mindful not to propose policies that are going to erode the mission of the community college system, such as the two-tier tuition proposal that was proposed 2 years ago. In terms of improving access to Santa Monica High School students, as you had asked, I think that we need to improve programs such as the dual enrollment program, the Young Collegians program, but we have to go beyond that. I believe that Santa Monica College needs to start doing outreach a lot sooner and deeper into our schools, not just the high schools, but the middle schools as well, to begin to build that.
Thank you, Maria. Andrew, please.
State funding is unstable and it is unpredictable. And what we need to do at Santa Monica College is continue to look for other sources of funding. We have to diversify our funding base. One way of doing that is building up our foundation and raising more money from private sources. Another way of doing that is to bring in industries to help support our career technical education programs so that those can be self-supporting. Our funding is based on per FTS, which is per student basis, so we need to do outreach to our high schools to make sure they're coming to our to SMC, and we need to continue to nurture those relationships through strong programs like the Young Collegians.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so we're going to turn to our first round, and for this round, I'll be asking our candidates questions, and each question will be answered by all 6 candidates. At Santa Monica College, the ratio of full-time to part-time faculty is 305 full-time to 1,000 part-time faculty. Do you think this is a healthy ratio given the fact that students have more access to full-time faculty? We'll start with Andrew Frisch. That's Andrew Walzer. I'm very sorry.
We almost merged.
I know. Sorry about that.
I think that we need to continue to hire more full-time faculty, we have consistently been hiring full-time faculty under my tenure as a trustee, and we need to continue to do that. It's been hard because of the recession to build momentum and continue to hire full-time faculty. And also, when we do hire full-time faculty, faculty tend to retire. So I'm strongly committed to hiring full-time faculty, and I believe we need to do that consistently and as rapidly as possible.
Thank you, Andrew. Barry Snell, please.
I believe that the ratio is something that, as a trustee member, we need to take a look at. I also agree that hiring full-time faculty strengthens the college, so I'm very supportive of it. As Andrew said, the college, just like the school district, over the last couple of years have gone through incredible financial problems because of the state. And so as a result, hiring has not been as successful, but I'm glad to say that this year Santa Monica College has hired 15 full-time faculty members, and we have gotten a commitment from our president that we will continue to hire full-time faculty, and as a board member, I will make sure that this is the case so that the ratio could change.
Thank you, Barry. Maria Loya, please.
Well, I don't think that that the ratio between full-time and part-time faculty is healthy in Santa Monica College right now. Obviously, when you have that kind of ratio, when you have more part-time faculty, it does affect accessibility, and in turn, it affects student success. So I do believe that we have to do more in increasing the number of full-time faculty in Santa Monica College.
Thank you, Maria. Nancy Greenstein, please.
I agree. And so obviously, any of us that are on the board will really going to work to increase full-time faculty numbers. That being said, there's many, many amazing people out there who are just looking for full-time jobs. And they're bringing in a whole new energy to the college. We see that with the faculty that we've hired so far. And I think it's really important. It's important for the students, it's important for the diversity of the faculty, and it's important for, for the best college in the state. So I agree.
Thank you very much. Louise, please.
This has actually been a board goal every year, I believe, and we have added 90 new full-time faculty. We did not stop during the recession. We continued to add full-time faculty. So this is something we are working on. The price differential is about $40,000, and that's pretty much all in benefits because our full-time faculty have fully paid for benefits not only for themselves, which our part-time faculty also have, but for their families, and so that adds up. We are a leader in the state in making sure that we do not exploit our part-time faculty. This is one of the major problems in higher ed, that part-time faculty are hired and paid less. And again, I think the first year that we were elected, one of our board goals was to increase parity and equity for part-time faculty, and we have done that. And now we're in terms of instructional time, and we are also adding office time for our part-time adjunct.
Thank you, Louise. Dennis, please.
The ratio of 300 to 1,000 is wrong, and as others have indicated, has an effect on student success and student learning. It was not an accident that this happened. It occurred at a time when there were retirements among the full-time faculty, and those retirements were not replaced. The money was in the budget. It could be used to replace full-time faculty. It was not. The choice was made to use more and more part-time faculty. That may now be reversed, or at least in the process of being reversed. That remains to be seen. Statewide, this is a problem. It's a problem at Santa Monica College, and if I'm on the board, I will be pushing very hard to make sure that full-time faculty numbers expand.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, our next question has to do with traffic. Every semester, the streets around the main campus of SMC become choked with traffic. Just last week, a person was run over by a car only a block away from the main campus in the middle of heavy traffic going to SMC. What would you propose to do to mitigate this problem and its attendant hazards? Dennis, please.
Traffic is a problem. It has been an ongoing problem. I think one of the things that we can do is to have much, much better cooperation between the college and the police force, the city police force. I know this year in particular, signs were supposed to go up and they didn't, and it exacerbated the problem. Another thing I think we can do is to control growth on the main campus and to control growth in the college in general. And so that would help certainly to alleviate some of the traffic problems. And that I also think the college needs to be a better neighbor in the sense that it works with the local neighborhood associations on traffic problems more and more intensely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Louise Jaffe, please.
The college does work closely. One of the main things we did in transportation was the Anyline Anytime, which has been a fabulous program where all of our students and staff get free bus pass and can ride the Big Blue Bus, and that has taken thousands of cars off the street. But we also work closely with the city police and also with the Friends of Sunset Park. And I have here an email from Regula Ziegler, who is the chair of the Friends of Sunset Park College Committee, and it says, talking about traffic around the college when it started. It was hectic, with impatient drivers trying to slip through before the officers changed the commands. Yet it works, thanks to your good organization, officers who never lose their cool, and courageous crossing guards. Please convey our thank you to everyone involved providing safety during this extremely busy time of the school year. Unfortunately, the city was not able to make the dynamic message board available before September 2nd,
Thank you, Louise.
and she looks forward to video clip.
Thank you very much. Nancy Greenstein.
Of the group here, I've been on the board the longest. And when I joined the board, one of the issues was that Santa Monica College was insular. It basically paid no attention to the neighbors. So when I was a new member, I used to call myself a majority of one, but I had a goal of opening up the college. And one of those goals was beginning a relationship with the neighbors. And it's not perfect, and we are a college and we're in the middle of a residential neighborhood. But as Louise's note indicated, it's really evolved. The Anytime, Anyline bus program's amazing. I drive to work down Pico, and I can see 80 students getting off an articulated bus. We've done a lot to work with the neighborhood, but we need to continue. It's always a challenge, and I think we can always achieve a better relationship.
Thank you, Nancy. Maria Loya, please.
Yes, Santa Monica College is the regional community college. More than 30,000 students attend SMC. So you can imagine, even though there's been good work done on Anyline, Anytime, and the collaboration with the police department is happening, I think there needs to be more in terms of outreach to neighborhood groups beyond Friends of Sunset Park. And one of the things that I would like to propose is the creation of a Good Neighbor Initiative, really to create a space to enhance communication between the college and the neighborhood groups throughout the city of Santa Monica, to address issues not only of parking, but of traffic, but also ensure that we have more local students attending Santa Monica College, and begin to shift that ratio a little bit more. I believe that would also address the issue of traffic.
Thank you, Maria. Barry Snell, please.
Thank you. I am a Pico neighborhood resident, so I'm directly affected by the traffic in Santa Monica College. It is true that during certain times, the traffic can be impacted very seriously. We've worked hard at the college, as you've heard from my colleagues, about the Anytime, Anywhere with our Blue Bus line. We also are focusing on that same kind of initiative with the rail coming through, and we've been working hard, and we've had consultants on the outside working to see that our students can get to Santa Monica College quickly, efficiently, without using a car. But also, I think it's a culture shift there, and I think we should be leaders in it, where that alternative ways of transportation should be invested with our students. I'm an avid bike rider, and I believe that one of the ways to get to college is to be able to ride your bike. We have young people that go to our college. It's a way to do it. So I have 2 children that go to college and they work there. So that's one of the things I would try to do.
Thank you, Barry. Andrew Walzer, please.
I think that in order to alleviate traffic, we need to get students, faculty, staff out of their cars, and people, residents of the city of Santa Monica. We need to create a shift in the way we think and do business in Santa Monica and the city and the county and the state and the nation and probably the world. We need to learn to get out of our cars and start taking public transportation. Santa Monica College, we have the Anytime, Anyline bus program, which gives free bus passes to our students, faculty, and staff so that they can take the bus free of charge. We're also working with the Expo to create a link between the stop at 17th and Colorado and the college, so that we have lots of different forms of transportation like bikes and shuttles and that kind of thing. And the more we can do to encourage students to and residents to get out of their cars, and myself to get out of their car and to take public transportation, the better.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, our next question. Describe your understanding of the differences between being an advocate and being a member of a governing board. How have you or will you make that transition? Let's start off with Andrew.
To be a trustee, the process is deliberation. You exchange ideas. You consider, you listen. You do a lot of listening. You do a lot of give and take. You try not to be self-righteous. You try to engage in a process of exploring and deliberation and build consensus over time. So you discuss and you discuss and you discuss. Santa Monica College is famous for its long board meetings, and we continue to need to talk things through and not blame, not point fingers, but engage in a kind of common, mutual, deliberative process.
Thank you, Andrew. Nancy Greenstein, please.
I have to get, could you just read it
Sure.
again? Thank you.
It's the difference between being an advocate and being a member of a governing
Thanks.
board.
So as a board member, your job is really to basically run the college. And you have a lot of goals and assignments. And an advocate is really trying to change the system from without. Being on the board, you have to do it within, you have to be collegial, you have to work with people on a daily basis. So I'm both. I'm an advocate for some of the organizations I work with, and I'm a member for others. And what's important is knowing when to wear each hat. And I've been doing this for years throughout the community, and I think I'm respected for my ability to govern.
Thank you, Nancy. I need to make clear that the question has to do with how would you or have you already make the transition between being an advocate and a member. Maria Loya?
Yes. Well, as a Board of Trustee, one of the things, the main responsibilities is to represent the interests of the voters, Santa Monica and Malibu residents, as well as students. And so I believe, and I take that very serious. However, in the process of identifying solutions, I believe that it's important to have a collaborative approach in working with my other colleagues on the board, as well as the staff and faculty in addressing issues that may come up. Now, I have experience through my many roles in the community as a community leader, in developing public policy and implementing it, and really creating win-win solutions between government, community, and labor. I have that experience, and I want to take that to the SMC Board of Trustees to create win-win situations and to work collaboratively.
Thank you, Maria Loya. Louise Jaffe, please.
Well, I certainly started out as an advocate, and a very strong advocate, and it's pretty easy because you can say, I want this. This is the way things should be. Do that. And as a person on a governing board, you may want one thing to be some way, but one, you're going to have to figure out how to pay for it, and two, you have to figure out what unintended consequences might there be, or what consequences. How does it fit together? Because, and not just in a short-term way, but in a long-term way. Obviously, you never know all of these things, but it's a much more complex overview, because we are charged with making sure that the college is has fiscal integrity and sustainability, that it's here not just for today's students, but tomorrow's. We have 2,000 employees counting on us for a job, and all of our students counting on us for access and quality. So you have to take a much larger view, and an advocate really doesn't. You can just say, this is what I think is
Thank
right
you.
about this.
Thank you, Louise. Dennis Frisch, please.
In my experiences in 28 years of teaching, I was an advocate in many cases, but an advocate in an organizations where I served in executive offices, and learned that when you are a member of a board, you have a duty of loyalty and care to the organization that you are governing. or proposing to govern. So I've learned also that being a member of a board is quite different from being an advocate. And of course, being a member of a board requires cooperation with other board members to achieve the goals, to articulate those goals, and to achieve those goals. But as a member of a board, you can be an advocate for community college education, for funding, and for things like that. So I think you can do both.
Thank you. Barry Snell, please.
I've been an advocate for education in Santa Monica since my children and I came in over 15 years ago. I'm passionate about how we give access to our children. As a board member, and I've been a board member for many boards, I've been president of the Santa Monica Malibu School Board, you have to be able to negotiate, be able to listen, reason, be able to collaborate with your fellow trustee members, but also with the community on issues that may be difficult for the broad side of the community to understand, but to be able to articulate that, to be able to find ways for solutions. And as a board member, I also believe that you have to really consider all issues before you make a decision. I think it's important that you can't go in with an answer, but you go in with understanding that a solution
Thank
can be
you.
solved with.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Barry. I'm so sorry when I have to interrupt you.
That's
I have to
okay.
tell you.
That was good.
Okay. During the next 2 rounds, each candidate will answer a different question. The other candidates, be sure to listen very carefully. We've given you pen and paper because you will be choosing a question from this round to answer. We've provided paper and pen for you to jot down your choices. All right, Andrew Walzer, we're going to start off with you. Many students who begin their studies at SMC fail to complete their goals, while others transfer on to four-year colleges and universities and then fail to complete their studies. What can SMC do to increase the number of students who achieve their educational goals?
One of the critical aspects of sustaining and encouraging completion is to build a sense of community so that students feel a connection with the place that they're learning. We do a really good job of that at Santa Monica College. I teach at Los Angeles City College. I'm a full-time instructor there. And when I noticed the difference, one of the main differences between Los Angeles City College and Santa Monica College is the intense feeling of community that students have at Santa Monica College. There's like over 100 clubs at the college, and so by being a member of a club or associated students, by connecting with your instructors, you form those connections, you form a set of relationships which sustain you and keep you going to complete. We got to continue to nurture community at Santa Monica College. We need to offer support students so that students are successful.
Thank you, Andrew. Nancy Greenstein, it's your turn. It's been said that SMC is a victim of its own success. Classes fill up quickly and tend to hold enrollment throughout the semester. Here's the question. What would you as a trustee do to help students get into the classes they need and finish their programs of study in a timely manner? Would you see online education playing a role?
I'll just start with yes, online education plays a role. Also, what plays a role is ensuring that students come to community college prepared for college work. And that's an area that we need to seriously work with the unified district and districts throughout the state on ensuring student preparedness. And we're already doing some of this with the high school, and it's been mentioned earlier, the Young Collegian, we have summer jams, first year experience, Pico Promise. These are all programs to help students get into SMC prepared. Once they're prepared, then it's going to be much easier for them to complete school.
Thank you, Nancy. Maria Lawyer, you get the next question. Some people say that SMC has increased the number of non-resident students in order to increase income. Others say the influx of students from other states and countries enhances the educational environment. Do you think that the ratio of resident to non-resident students is right, or would you work to change it, and why?
I don't think that the ratio between local students and resident students is right. I think that we need to increase the number of local students attending SMC. Less than 20% of the student population at SMC come from our local schools. We need to increase that. At the same time, I do believe that, you know, there's value in working with international students. I believe that they contribute to the college culture as well as to its budget. I do believe, though, that we should think about utilizing the $28 million that the community college brings in annually, which is projected for next year in terms of international students. We should think about how we utilize, earmark a portion of that money to support local students and increase outreach.
Thank you very much, Maria. Louise Jaffe, will you continue to support the Early Childhood Education Center Lab into the future? If yes, why? If not, why not?
Absolutely, because early childhood education is probably the most impactful area where we can begin to improve equity and outcomes and preparedness. What we're seeing in preparedness when students come to college is not starting in college. It's starting and building all along the way. So I'm a huge proponent of early childhood education. The college, for those who don't know, is building an early childhood center. It will be a lab school for our, we have a early childhood education department, but it will also be sort of the anchor for Cradle to Career. It will be in the Civic Center area. It will serve as a family education center for the entire community. It will provide for professional development, training for all of the preschool and early childhood education people. Oh, she doesn't want to cut me off. She loves early childhood education too. In the community, not just the college staff. It's a fabulous project, and it's been way too long getting done, but it's coming.
Thank you, thank you. All right, Dennis Frisch. Just a big setup and then the question. Santa Monica College and Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District have established the Education Collaborative, and both institutions are part of the Santa Monica Cradle to Career Initiative. The Youth Wellbeing Report Card documents that only 18% of the SMMUSD students who entered SMC as freshmen placed into college-level English and math. Here's the question. What is or should be SMC's role in increasing student preparedness for college?
Santa Monica College is already doing a number of things to help students in the high schools be prepared for college, and for those students who come to the college that lack preparation to come up to speed. I do think that the key to the raising the success rate for students is the faculty. And here's where I come back to something I mentioned earlier. We need to have more full-time faculty who can work with the students in a very, very positive way in helping them to build skills if that's what they want to do, or to develop those skills to college level and beyond.
Thank you very much. Barry, I guess it's up to you.
Thank you.
Do you think there should be more of an emphasis on career technical education or on preparation for four-year degrees? Why?
I think there should be emphasis on career technical education. I think the college does a great job of doing it also. Right now, we have 37 career technical educational programs, and we're flexible enough to be able to change as the market conditions provide. But I also believe that we should have an emphasis on four-year schools for our students as much as possible and create an atmosphere where our students can have options, have the ability to be able to do both in a way that is significant, and I think they should be stronger. I'm really excited about our CTE program and where we're heading, particularly with the type of community we have.
Thank you. Okay, this is a round where each of you will answer a different question, and remember to make notes because you have to come up with your own question from these questions. You got that, right?
Now, say that again. Say that again?
In other words, I'm going to ask 6 questions. I will direct a question to each one of you. You may like Louise's question, and when in the next round, I think, you'll be able to answer Louise's question.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Got it? Okay. Louise, California's community colleges are known for providing all a chance to compete and excel on an even playing field. Can SMC do more to realize this goal?
SMC really is quite an extraordinary place. The students have 2 huge issues that make it much harder to be successful. The first has been mentioned by quite a few people, and it is coming in unprepared. Black students who are prepared for college-level work succeed at a higher rate than Asian students who are unprepared. This level of preparedness is key. The other issue is time to completion and going part-time, not being able to take a full load. It's a 60-unit undergraduate program. It's only 2 years if you take 30 units a year. If you only take 6 units a semester, it's a lot longer. And we've done a huge, and I want to, this comment about just putting money in the classroom, we've spent a lot of money getting financial aid out. This is hugely, hugely important. And what California could do, other than what it's trying to do with preparation, it could make dual enrollment a whole lot easier, and a bill for that just died in the legislation. We will reintroduce it next year. And it could increase
Thank you, Louise.
financial aid for living expenses.
Thank you. Maria Loya, California is on the forefront of many areas of scientific research and study, and much of our state's economy is based on science and technology. As a trustee, what would be your goals for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
Yes. Well, actually, there was a study that just came out that stated that there's a shortage in students with computer science degrees. And considering that Santa Monica is known for Silicon Beach, I believe that there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity for us not only to expand and enhance the great work that the college already does around computer science and technology. I believe that there's an opportunity to forge a partnership with the school district and the city of Santa Monica and Silicon Beach by increasing the dual enrollment program to include computer science. So then it puts students, in particular local students and local residents, on a path to employment. So I believe that there's an opportunity there that we as a community college can contribute to the nation's shortage around computer science, and at the same time ensure that there you go, that's it.
Thank you. Dennis Frisch, how does the college walk the walk of being a leader in sustainability? What else could they do?
The college already has, of course, a program in sustainability. I think that program can be expanded a great deal. And that I know that we have some sustainable programs for recycling, and I believe we're still in process for generating our own electricity. And I think those are programs that certainly can be expanded even more and achieve greater degrees of sustainability. I think also we might try to improve some of our substandard classrooms which lack adequate facilities for students. This also might contribute to a more sustainable campus where we're not expending extraordinary amounts of money on electricity and things like that.
Thank you. Barry Snell. California community colleges are meant to serve a student body that is in all ways diverse. Where do you see challenges in fulfilling this goal at Santa Monica College, and how would you help Santa Monica College better fulfill this goal?
Well, as you've heard, Santa Monica is the #1 transfer rate in the UCs. However, overall, African-American students, we were #4, Latino students #13 to the UCs, and to the CSUs 4 and 11. I believe that we, and this is something that the college is strongly involved in. We need to have cultural equity and into the classroom, and we also need to look ways to be able to encourage more students of diverse backgrounds to want to come to Santa Monica College. I believe that it's an amazing school with an incredible environment. However, we, as many other schools, need to look hard as to how we can close the achievement gap for those students that are at risk, particularly African American males. I talk about it all the time. It's a part of our community that we realize that we have to do more.
Thank you, Barry. Nancy Greenstein. The job of the Board of Trustees is to set policy which the superintendent must be then held accountable for implementing. What policies do you think are not working, and what new policies do you think we need to add?
That's a difficult question. We have so many policies, so I would say most policies work, and if there's a problem, it's in the implementation or the follow-through. So, you know, just off the top of my head, I can't think of any that don't work. And you know, the many policies are really geared to including our whole community in decision-making. And I think those are the most important. And we have a committee that includes the faculty, the staff, the students, the administrators. We're, I believe, very strongly in shared governance. And the policies go through these committees, and then they tell us if they need tweaking or we need to update them. And, you know, it's pretty seamless. I mean, basically, recommendations come, the board looks at them, typically they're taken. I think, you know, we're doing a pretty good job on that.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, Andrew. Santa Monica's youth population is 70% white. Santa Monica College's student population is 40% Latino. Is it important to you that the Santa Monica College student body more closely reflect the demographics of the cities of Santa Monica and Malibu? Please elaborate.
No, it's not important to me. I think that it's really important that we give youth, no matter what their race is, an opportunity to succeed. And that means that Santa Monica College has to appeal to the whole, not only Santa Monica, but the city of Los Angeles, the wider community, in order to recruit a diverse student population. I really think that's important. And I also think having a global student population is really important. Our international students, many, some of which are here tonight, are it's really significant asset at Santa Monica College. One of our main goals is global citizenship, which is the idea of sort of learning about diversity, learning to work with a diverse population. It's a critical still for our 21st century. And so our diversity is a key asset here at Santa Monica College.
Thank you, Andrew. Good job. Now, the tricky part. Everybody was asked a lot of questions. Now I hope you've picked one of those questions that you weren't asked, but that sounded interesting to you. Got that? Okay. And don't answer the same question twice, okay? Maria Loya, what was your favorite question?
My favorite question to answer? Well, I'd like to answer the question that Louise was asked, but can I hear that question again?
Oh, okay, you can put me to work here. Hold on, I have to go back. First, Louise was asked if she would continue to support the Early Childhood Education Center Lab. Was that the one?
No.
The next time she was asked about California community colleges are known for providing a chance to compete and excel on an even playing field. Can Santa Monica College do more to realize this ideal?
Yes. Okay, so that's the question I'd like to answer.
Okay, go.
Yes. I believe that SMC can do better. Obviously, we are known for the #1 transfer community college in the state. However, when you disaggregate the data, you begin to see that there's still a segment of our student population that is falling behind. And I believe that there is an achievement gap issue in Santa Monica College. And in order to address that, and in order to prepare our students to compete, I believe that we do need to focus on the issue of equity. Now, Santa Santa Monica College has a lot of great programs and great classes and faculty. But one of the things that we need to do as a college is focus our resources and attention on the students with the greatest need. And I think that once we do that, we're able to ensure that our students have success and are able to compete throughout. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Nancy Greenstein, what question do you want to tackle?
I think I am answering the question about challenges. It was challenges in a diverse student body.
Okay.
Would you read it again? Sorry.
No, I just have to skip because I think we had a couple of them. The one about the population being 70% white and 40, no, not that one. Okay. California community colleges are meant to serve a student body that is in all ways diverse. Where do you see challenges in fulfilling this goal at Santa Monica College?
Is that the one you had? It was one Andrew
It was for
had.
Barry.
No, it was the one Andrew had.
Oh,
on
you
the
want
slide.
Andrew's
Sorry
question.
about
All right, Andrew's question was the one about 70% population.
that. Oh,
Yeah, I did have that one.
Just answer what you want.
really?
That's okay.
Okay, I'm answering one of those questions.
All right.
Anyway, I want to talk about the challenges of a diverse population. And what we have to do is make sure that there are programs to help students stay in school. We know that the most important thing for successful students is preparation, which we have many programs, and it's also engagement, and it's also finding a niche. And we have a number of programs that currently do that, and we could do more. And it's also reaching back to the high schools and the school districts. And I know I say this a lot, but we shouldn't get so many students coming unprepared. And it's also ensuring that we're transferring students who really want to transfer. So UC gets the majority of its minority students from community colleges, including SMC. And I think we have to do more to create those linkages.
Thank you, Nancy. Pardon me. All right, Barry, do you know which question you want to tackle?
You know, I'd like to add to the question that Nancy had. Could you read it again?
Yes. This was the question that Andrew got before about the population.
yes.
Santa Monica's youth population is 70% white. Santa Monica College's student population is 40% Latino. Is it important to you that the SMC student body more closely reflect the demographics of the cities of Santa Monica and Malibu?
No, it's not important to me. What's important to me is that our student population that comes to us, that we're prepared as a community college to serve them and to be able to teach them from where they've come from to build a trust, build capacity. We have a serious achievement gap in our public schools and also in our college. We know that. There's certain segments of our population that keep falling behind. And I think Santa Monica College, being one of the #1 community colleges in our state, has a responsibility to be able to serve all students. You know, it's pretty funny. Santa Monica and Malibu, intellectual capital is probably one of the highest in the country, probably in the world. However, we still struggle as board members to find ways to allow students to be able to feel comfortable to compete, to be able to be educated in an environment that's safe, to be able to still be their own person, but to be able to achieve the goals that are necessary to be global citizens. So I do believe that, although, I guess I'm over with my question.
Thank you, Barry. Louise Jaffe.
I want to talk about the thought of a ratio between local and non-local being important. And that's because I think that has absolutely nothing to do with educational access, with quality, with serving the community, or with funding. The question that's relevant to me is, does Santa Monica College meet the needs and desires of our local community and our students? And the answer is yes. It's a resounding yes. We have a catalog that everyone received for fall that has 1,013 classes in it. It's unique courses, more classes. It goes from A, accounting, to Z, zoology. Our community is able to take the classes they want. The state has a new metric called a district participation rate, and we are #1 by far in the state of having the most residents of any community college district access our classes. And that's because we have access to what people want to take. And that's what's important. Do we have the classes that you need to be successful, that you're interested in? And yes, of course, we need to continue to improve.
Thank you. Dennis Frisch, which is your question?
I'd like to go back to the question about board setting policy.
Okay.
The board indeed does set policy, but it does not do so in isolation. And I think one of the things that is not working very effectively at Santa Monica College right now is the obligation of the board to be responsive to the community, both the college community and the community around the college. The pepper spray incident that occurred a year or so ago is an indicator of that. That could have been avoided simply by changing the venue. The answer was no. We were not listening to the community at that point. A 20-month negotiating period for a contract with the faculty, when there were indications it could have been settled much earlier. Again, the board was not listening to one of the campus communities. I think the board needs to do more of that, and as a member of the board, I would make sure that there was greater responsiveness.
Thank you, Dennis. Andrew Walzer.
I too wanted to address the question of the ratio between local resident students and non-local, for better, lack of a better word. For one thing, in terms of local, it depends how you define your community. Do you define your community just as Santa Monica? Do you define your community as, you know, Los Angeles? Santa Monica is part of Los Angeles, the county. So that's part of it. I do agree with Luis that we have a high participation rate, the highest in the state, of local residents and students. And I also, so I don't think the locals only emphasis is, and that locals having access to Santa Monica College is an issue. I also think it's really important that the college have a diverse student body. And to do that, we need to cast our nets widely. We need to recruit and be accessible to a wide range of different students in different geographical locations. And ultimately, it includes the world, and that's a good thing.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Okay, all the candidates will answer the next couple of questions, if we have time. The next question has to do with fiscal responsibility, a major topic of importance to voters both locally and statewide. The question is this: what were your priorities as trustee in terms of fiscal management? What would be your priorities? If you are elected or re-elected, are you planning to propose any new initiatives and programs? Do you have any idea what they might cost? And most importantly, these proposals are new. How would you propose to fund them? Dennis Frisch.
In terms of priorities, as I've already indicated, as a member of the board, my first priority would be the teaching function of the college. In that case, I think that there are some areas of the budget that we could reduce, and monies could be then directed towards improving our ratio of full-time faculty to part-time faculty, or correcting some of the substandard classrooms that are on the main campus. And that, I think, in terms of, for example, the number of consultants that the college employs, or the legal expenses incurred for things like negotiations. I also think the public relations budget could be looked at very carefully and probably reduced. Those are two things that I think I would be very concerned about.
Thank you, Dennis. Louise Jaffe, please.
Can you read the question again? I'm sorry, Sandy.
This has to do with new priorities in terms of fiscal management. If you're elected, what...
Right, okay, got it. So, first of all, the college has had 9 years of clean audits, and the past 5 years have been perfect audits. Those are no findings at all. That includes all of our facilities as well as all of the, every cent. It's a pretty spectacular record. The priorities now, our reserve we did spend down, we need to make sure we have a little bit of money when something goes wrong. We saw on June 7th, when we had that horrible shooting, it cost money to get the campus reopened right away. So you don't know what's going to happen, and you need to have some ability to deal with it. One of the things that we've started funding finally is our post-employment retiree benefits. And this governor has decreed that colleges are going to be responsible. We have been paying 8% of pensions. We're going to be paying 19% in a couple of years. So there's some pretty big fiscal challenges that we need to prepare for.
Thank you. Nancy Greenstein, please.
I like Louise's answer, but
There would be more.
I agree, and I think students are always the priority, particularly student success. We haven't talked about it tonight, but counselors are critical, and that we have 373 counselors per student, and the average is 719 counselors per student. This is making a big difference for our students. Reserves are important, and upgrading our facilities. There are a number of facilities that really do need to be upgraded. Some of it's in progress, some of it will continue, and some will begin anew. We also have to look at approaches to finding money. Andrew earlier mentioned the foundation. We have a foundation, it's very vibrant. Is that, oh,
Okay.
I couldn't. You had to stop up.
All right, Nancy, thank you. Maria Loya, please.
In terms of the priorities for the budget, one of the things that I would look at is increasing the number of full-time staff. I think that's important, as well as counselors. I agree that both of those would help support student success. I also would like to expand the Emeritus College program as well. And in terms of where I would get money to support these programs. Obviously, looking at the budget, I do agree we need to revisit the public relations monies that the college has put. I believe it's close to $1 million. I think that we need to revisit that and think about where we put monies into, as I had stated, full-time staff, counselors, or expanding the Emeritus program. Also, one of the things that I'd like to do is create a scholarship program for local students in their first year in attending Santa Monica College. Now,
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Sorry.
Barry Snell, please.
Could you read the question again for me?
This has to do with, if you were elected or re-elected, are you planning to propose any new initiatives and programs? And did you have any idea what they might cost, and how would you propose to fund them?
Well, obviously, any new initiatives for programs would have to be vetted through our board, and I would like to take a look at them. When you look at a budget, you got to look at the overall picture of the budget and how it affects the college as a whole. Obviously, our main focus is the student population and how we can direct as much funds to their particular classroom access. However, as president of the Santa Monica School Board District during 2008, 2010, it was a very difficult time, and actually 2006 through 2010. It was a very difficult financial time, and I realized how difficult it was for us as a K through 12, where we didn't have support for our teachers through our administration because of the possibility of having to lay off. One of the things that the college has been able to do is to be able to support teachers. We have an incredible counseling program, and also I have seen that the administration is one where we have an amount of layers to be able to support teachers in the classroom, which I think is important.
Thank you, Barry. Andrew Walzer, please.
In terms of new programs, I am committed to continuing to hire full-time faculty as we've been doing consistently the last 8 years under my tenure. I also want to continue to innovate in career technical education, that is, create new programs to meet the employment needs of our 21st century. So we need to be starting new designing and developing new career technical education. I do think that in order to fund that, we need to get industry involved in helping to support that, to pony up money to support those innovative programs. I also think that we need to diversify our funding source. I think we need to build up our foundation so that we get more private monies, and I do believe that we need to build up our reserve again.
Okay, so Barbara will go for the last question? Okay, so you guys have to talk really fast. Santa Monica College has put a number of facilities bond measures on the ballot in recent years for a total of $590 million. It's estimated that it will take Santa Monica and Malibu property owners about $1.2 billion to pay off these bonds. Do you think there should be another SMC facilities bond measure on the ballot in the near future? If yes, why and when, and for how much? And if not, why not? So quickly, Andrew Frisch, but I did it again.
Dennis.
It's not my fault, it's not my fault. Dennis Frisch, please.
I would answer no to that question. I think what we need is better bond oversight. Let me give you one example in the short term I have. We proposed a new student services building. That was 5 years ago. What we have so far is a big hole on Pico Boulevard. We do not have a new student services building. It was supposed to be completed in 2013. I would ask, where was the Bond Oversight Committee and where was the board during that 5 years during which nothing or little or nothing was done to achieve that particular project? So I would say at this point, no to any new bond initiatives.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Barry Snell, please.
Presently, the college doesn't have any new bond initiative. Overall, I think the question as to whether we do look to increase our facilities by offering a bond in the future will depend on a number of things. It will depend on very transparent discussion with the community, the need for the college to be able to compete for our students. And also, I've been told by many students that come to our college that coming to our college, it's a very warm and inviting feeling because of the aesthetics. So right now, no, I don't think that we should be putting a bond on the ballot, but I also believe that we should always be looking at ways to improve our facilities.
Thank you, Barry. Maria Loya, please.
Well, one of the things that concerns me with Santa Monica College is that there's some buildings that just aren't up to code, and in fact, that need earthquake retrofitting. And so that's what that's my only consideration in terms of new bond money, to really look at how we improve the sturdiness of our buildings by ensuring that every building in Santa Monica College is earthquake retrofit in order to protect the safety of our students and our faculty and staff. So I believe that's important because there's still a lot of buildings that still don't meet that level or have gotten to that point. So that's one of the facilities bond that I would support in order to protect the safety of students, faculty, and staff at SMC.
Thank you, Maria. Nancy Greenstein, please.
All the public entities in this city benefit from the generosity of our community, and our building program is one of them. And we've done an excellent job with what we've done, with the one exception that was mentioned. We have the Broad Stage, which has become a community go-to. We have a pool. We have retrofitted buildings on Bundy and on campus. It's a really good program. At this time, I'm not going to say, yes, we need another bond. I don't see that as my decision. I really see this as a decision that the community makes together.
Thank you very much. Louise Jaffe, please.
Yeah, I too want to say that the college has actually done an outstanding job with all of its bonds, and that project will be outstanding too when it is done. It did certainly run into complications that are disappointing. And ultimately, eventually, there will need to be another bond. There are, as Maria mentioned, still old buildings. They're still quote, temporaries. Who knew temporaries lasted 50 years or longer? And so unless we're going to ever fold up, we will always continue to have to improve. And the facilities have made a huge difference. They're incredibly beautiful. If you haven't been on Santa Monica College's main campus, please come. But as to how much or when, I don't know that. I do want to say the governor, there was an effort to put a bill for K-12, K-14 bond measure on the state ballot, and the governor refused to do it. He is not that interested, it appears, in the state funding local districts. So that, if that's going to be the new reality, we're going to have to continue.
Thank
But we do benefit from our buildings.
Thank you, Louise. Andrew Walzer, please.
There are several buildings on campus that are unsafe in terms of, and outdated, in terms of earthquake. The social sciences building is one. And also, our math department is housed in temporary facilities. We were hoping for a statewide bond. It is true that the governor didn't allow that to go forth because he believes that local projects should be funded by local bonds, I guess. So I think that at some point in the future, we're going to need to have another bond, just for the safety of our residents and our students.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's now time for closing statements. Each candidate has 60 seconds. We're going to go in the opposite order of the opening statement, so we're going to start with you. Dennis Frisch, please.
Thank you. I believe that I've articulated a set of concerns that brought me to run for the Board of Trustees. I've mentioned things like bond oversight, fiscal issues. I've mentioned corporatization, where we have administration growing while teaching faculty remains stagnant. This does not augur well for the future. As a board member, I think I bring a different perspective. I have skills at the state level as well as the local level, and I think I can be both an advocate and a good member of the Board of Trustees. So I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew Walzer, please.
Santa Monica does face financial challenges going forward. We are going to have to pay an increasing share of the retirement benefits. We are funding post-retirement health benefits. Our funding formula may change, so we may receive less money from the state going forward. It's going to take experience to lead this college going forward. I have that experience.
Thank you very much. Nancy Greenstein, please.
I have worked hard as a board member. I'm a leader, a facilitator, a problem solver, a team player, and a community advocate. Our programs change lives, whether it be the Santa Monica High School student from the Young Collegians program, the first in her family to go to college, or the emeritus college student who credits SMC programs for his recovery from the stroke, or the student who, at times homeless, persevered through basic skills classes, transferring to Stanford on a scholarship. This success doesn't happen in a vacuum. We are dependent on the excellent staff, faculty, and administrators. We are also dependent on our leaders on the board. And I have been doing this for a number of years and hope to continue. I'm supported by many people in our community: Julia Brownlee, Congresswoman, Senator Ted Lieu, Assembly Member Richard Bloom, Senator Fran Pavley, the entire councils of Malibu and Santa Monica. I'm by a number,
Sorry. Thank you so much.
Could have gone.
Louise Jaffe, please.
My record as a community leader and as a college leader is strong. I have a history of respectful, collaborative, thoughtful, and effective leadership in improving public education and in leading and serving Santa Monica College. That's why I'm supported by Congresswoman Brownlee, State Senators Fran Pavley and Ted Lieu, former State Senator Sheila Kuehl, Assemblymember Richard Bloom, College Board Chair Susan Amanoff, School Board President Maria Leon Vasquez, hundreds of community members, and Community for Excellent Public Schools. My agenda is simple: increase student success. I'm passionate about excellence in public education, and I'm committed to ensuring SMC continues to improve for you and your family. So please re-elect me. Trustee Louise Jaffe to the College Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Maria Loya, please.
Yes. I'm running to ensure that Santa Monica College works to better serve local students and local residents. I want to work to expand Emeritus College. I want to make sure that we increase the enrollment of local students because I don't believe that we should be satisfied with less than 20% of the student population coming from our local schools. I believe that we can do better. And one of the things that I'd like to propose is that we provide preferential enrollment for local students in order to achieve the goal of increasing the percentage of students that attend, local students that attend SMC. I also want to work to create an employment path for our local residents, really using Santa Monica College as a way to ensure that local residents are able to have a future in Santa Monica by ensuring that they get access to the good jobs that are being created through Silicon Beach. I want to make sure that Santa Monica College works for, as I mentioned, local students and local residents, and I want to work to put community back into Santa Monica College.
Thank you. Barry Snell, please.
Thank you, and thank you for listening to us this evening. My only purpose for serving on the board is to support the students that come to us so that they can have an enriched education, one full of access, one that is going to aspire them to succeed in their different disciplines as they go through. I've been involved in the educational system since myself and my children have come to Santa Monica over 15 years ago, first with the PTA and then subsequently on the school board, and now the natural transition to the college board. I believe that preparing students today for tomorrow's world in California, where we have serious financial constraints, and the community college can bring to the campus a more diverse student population. We can bring the kind of qualities and experience. I can bring the kind of qualities and experience to the board based on my understanding of this community that will enhance the board, will enhance students' educational progress. So thank you. Support me on November 4th.
Thank you. Well, audience, at this point, we can thank our candidates. Let's give them a big hand. And to you, the candidates, on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Santa Monica Education Fund and the Santa Monica Malibu PTA Council, we want to thank all of you for taking part in this candidates forum and for stepping forward to run for office. This forum will be replayed multiple times on Santa Monica City TV, Channel 16, and frequently on cable channel 99. For a schedule of replay times, we invite you to go online to smvote.org. For more information on both local and state elections, check out Smart Voter at smartvoter.org. We also want to thank you, the audience, and the viewers for your interest. It takes all of us to make democracy work. Remember, cast your vote by mail ballots, or go to the polls and vote on November 4th. Elections are won by those who vote. Thank you.